Welcome to Incredible Idaho. I'm Wayne Walker. We begin our show tonight by floating through the Snake River Birds of Prey area south of Boise. This beautiful canyon hosts the largest population of nesting birds of prey or raptors in the world. And today on our trip, we hope to catch sight of some of those magnificent birds.
Yeah, there's one here, and then there's one just down a little bit. I can't remember which one they do.
Towering basalt cliffs rim the river, forming a sanctuary for some of nature's most efficient hunters, birds of prey. They're called raptors, a Latin word that means plunder. And here in this spectacular setting, the hunters plunder and the hunted flee, and somehow they conspire to preserve a delicate balance. In 1993, Congress designated this unique expanse the Snake River Birds of Prey National Conservation Area. The 483,000 acres is managed by the Department of the Interior's Bureau of Land Management and has become a mecca for raptor biologists, scientists who study birds of prey.
The spring is a prime time. In April, the birds are generally laying eggs, and in May, the young hatch, and that's the time from early May until late June is when you can stand at places like Dedication Point and Swan Falls and literally see a dozen young falcons flying above the canyon walls, and red-tailed hawks and golden eagles.
It's a 2 to 3 hour float through the canyon, longer if, like us, you take time to watch the birds and get out and explore the historical sites. We're accompanied by raptor biologists and resource managers who educate us on the more subtle dynamics that make this area so appealing to birds of prey.
The Snake River Canyon has these high basalt cliffs that range from 200 to 700 feet, and that provides shelter and nesting areas for a lot of the raptors. And then mostly north of the canyon, you have the Snake River Plain, which is an area that was lava flows and subsequently topped over with wind-blown soils. And so you have a very deep, rich soil that's easy to burrow into for small mammals. And we have a very large population of ground squirrels and other small mammals that provide the food source for all these raptors. And so the combination of the cliffs and the river and the Snake River Plain adjacent provides all the necessary elements for the perfect habitat for raptors.
The most conspicuous resident of the canyon is the biggest, the golden eagle. It has a sweeping wingspan that can measure up to 7 feet wide as it soars over the canyon in search of jackrabbits to feed its young. Its nest is equally conspicuous, an untidy cluster of sticks perched high on an outcropping overlooking the river below. But more numerous are the prairie falcons, sleek birds with long, sharply pointed wings that slice through the air, a superb aerialist. In fact, these aerodynamic birds were the inspiration for the design of the jet airplane. Here in this canyon, the prairie falcons are so abundant that the competition for nesting sites has modified their natural tendency to defend territory. They've adapted to the raptors' equivalent of apartment life, only defending the area directly horizontal to their nest site and allowing other prairie falcons to nest above and below them on the cliffs, a very unusual occurrence in their world.
Most of the birds will pair up in March. One male and one female will stake out a territory along the cliffs, and because they don't build nests, they actually just make a little scrape in the sand and gravel as a substrate inside the potholes, and lay their eggs in this little cup, and that basically keeps them from rolling off the cliffs.
In a month, 4 to 5 young will hatch, demanding to be fed. For the next 45 days, the adults are hunting in earnest, searching the flats above the canyon for ground squirrels to appease the appetites of their offspring. This is the time to be floating the river, lazily watching the raptors at work.
The dark basalt cliffs, when it's real sunny, creates these real intense thermals that sort of give the raptors a free elevator ride. They can catch these thermals and circle and go several thousand feet up with hardly little effort, just riding the current, soaring, and circling. And that gets them up high enough to where they can soar out across the vastness of the Snake River Plain with very little energy output.
Researchers call this the vertical environment. It's another example of the unique characteristics of this area, a place where the hunters and hunted know the game, play for keeps, and both emerge victorious, flourishing as they have for thousands of years.
Well, what attracts me, I think, is the fact that it took such incredible forces of nature to create it, but yet it sits here in such quiet splendor that those two things are in such juxtaposition that it's really quite amazing to me right now.